Today, I'm going to be setting some goals for the fourth quarter of 2025. Hey guys, I'm Tracy and I want to welcome you back to my channel. I want to thank you all so much for stopping by. And yes, it is a goal setting video. It has been a while. I am usually pretty consistent with doing a goal setting video every month and then doing a big one every quarter. Yeah, this year has not happened. I might have done one the first and the second quarter. Obviously the first, I think maybe the second, and then there was nothing the third quarter, and I pretty much wasn't even really doing goal setting on any capacity most of the third quarter. But I want to jump back into it in the fourth quarter, so I'm like, let's film a video. I do think setting goals for the final quarter of the year is a little easy because you look at all the stuff you have yet to do and you just throw them into the fourth quarter. So setting the goals is not going to be too difficult. Following through, that's another story, but we'll get to that as the quarter goes on, right? So I have my MakseLife 6-month planner here. I started playing around with it in September. I'm using it more as like a supplement to my catch-all planners. Planning out some projects and things of that nature, multi-step type projects, as well as obviously some weekly action steps. But I decided to use these annual goal pages for my fourth quarter goals. And there are also these vision board pages behind it. So if I need to kind of do an overflow, I can just use those pages. So yeah, it says annual, but you know, we do not want things to go to waste. So we're just going to start here. Let me look at these categories first and let me see. This is an 08, so this will work because I might need to change some of these categories around. So we have personal. I feel like that's such a broad category. I can make that work. We have fun and rec. That one I might divide. I don't know yet. Work and learning. This is going to be a girl with plans. So that's going to be my social media related stuff. Family and relationships, that one I might break up into 2 categories. We have health and wellness. Yes. Spiritual and personal growth. I do think the personal growth is what I'm going to focus on here. We have financial and we have physical environment. Okay. So, all right, I think I can divide these 2 up and still make them work. I think I want fun and rec to be divided up into vacation priorities, right? Priorities. Let's see if I have any colors. Okay, so you can definitely make things work for me. So when we are talking about this, this is going to be social outings. And this is going to be 2026 travel prep. I think this is going to be the last category I do. I think that's going to be a catch-all category. And then, like I said, work and learning is going to be AGWP. For family and relationships, I'm going to divide this one into connections with friends, quality time with family. I guess I could have just wrote family and friends and then those could have been goals, but that's okay. So I'm going to leave, I think, all of the other ones. I think here I'm going to be focusing on personal growth. So I think when we're talking about personal growth here, health and wellness, when I think about health and wellness, I think about health and wellness in terms of both physical and mental, like it's an offshoot of it. So I think the mental will come down here and this will be mostly the physical. All right, so I've updated. You can see I pulled some stickers aside just in case I want to decorate. All right, so let's start planning. What do you say? This is probably going to be a little chaotic. I think things might come to mind as I'm in certain categories with other categories. So I might be going back and forth a lot. I think I can actually start with fun and rec because it should be probably the easiest and most straightforward. So when it comes to travel prep, I don't know if I'm going to set these up more like goals or more like a brain dump. where you can kind of see the goals within it. And then what I'll do is utilize this to start pulling my October goals out, which will do that as well. So I really need to, comes to book an international trip, I wrote down some of the trips that I'm kind of like honing in on, mostly Japan or Greece. I do need to determine, one of the things that's going to help me decide on whether it's Japan or Greece is if it's going to be a solo trip or a trip with friends. Because if it's a trip with friends, it'll probably likely be Greece. But if I want to do like a solo tour, that might be Japan. And then obviously I need to research, budget, and book. That's kind of like, it's not the correct order of things, but that's just how my brain works. I just like to throw it down on the page and now it's there. I also need to research, we'll say, I don't want to say local trips, I'll say smaller trips. I mean, it's the time to start doing this, y'all. So that will be obviously planner conferences. Because, you know, that will be one of the trips. Hopefully, I haven't gotten the dates for like Go Wild yet. I know that there is a, the SGS conference is going to be in New York in like mid-March. I don't know like the sellout, like possibility for that one or not, because I would like to know the dates for Go Wild first, because that one's supposed to be in New Orleans and I really want to go to New Orleans. But if it conflicts with any of my possible travel dates, then I won't go to Go Wild. But I do kind of want to prep for that. I know my cousin has been wanting to go on like a short cruise. So I'm going to put that there. Okay, those are the ones I really need to prep for in advance. So that's it for that. See, it didn't take that long. For social outings, I would like to do a minimum of one outing each month. That's kind of what I want to do. I want to do one outing each month. I'm thinking like October, I wouldn't mind doing something outdoors. Maybe like a winery, a festival, or something like that. November, maybe, we'll see. And then December is probably like something holiday related. But I definitely want to make sure, I would like to do more than one, but I'm just going to stick to one right now. And I'm not talking about dinners. I'm talking about maybe more like an activity. So I'm going to put under here, activity. Because I've been doing good with dinners and lunches and things like that with friends, but I kind of want to do an activity. All right, so there we go. See, those are super simple for me. All right, I'm going to quickly go through a girl with plans. I don't really know that you guys care about that. So I'm going to just go ahead and speed through this one. All right, so I've done my a girl with plans stuff. Of course, most of the stuff is going to be December, but I definitely want to do Planmas in December, so I need to plan my video lineup. I need to do that by mid-November. You can see how I'm doing this a little bit differently than I usually do it. I'm just kind of like, when I look at it in like a 3-month interval, I'm trying to figure out the best time to do some of this stuff, but I figured like I would need to have that set by mid-November, because I definitely would like to do Planmas, which Planmas is a video a day. In December, it's kind of like Vlogmas. It's just the planner version. So you can just say Planmas/Vlogmas. And then I need to start thinking of some 2026 channel ideas. I like to change things up a little bit. Plus, you know, I like to do like new intros and things like that each year. I think it just makes it fun. So I definitely need to create that. Probably will create that in December. But I also need to brainstorm some like content ideas and stuff like that for the new year, because, you know, new planners and new year, things like that, there might be new things coming to the channel, but I honestly can't start brainstorming that until I like settle in on a lineup, which hopefully should be done by December. So that's why this will be more of a December thing as well. And then updates, I need to make sure I update my storefront, affiliate links, and things like that. And then I'm thinking about reopening my Etsy shop. But if you, I don't know if you, how long you've been with me, but I like only have a couple of things in there originally. So I might only have a couple of things in there again. It's just some of the things that I create myself, mainly for like my fitness planner. I'll just go ahead and post them up on the Etsy shop so that way it's printables in case you guys want them. So I'm thinking about doing that again. So there we go there. Now let's get back to things that I guess are more relatable to other people. So family and relationships. The first one is connection with friends. This is where I really do want to like make a connection each week. So I definitely want to reach out each week. All right, so my connection with friends is pretty simple. It's to reach out weekly to at least one person, preferably more. Usually I've been really good about this though. I also want to schedule an outing with a friend. I put lunch and dinner. I didn't put how many. I would like to do at least 2 a month. I feel like even though the holidays are busy, usually the holidays are the times that we're more like open to like forcing changes in our schedule to like hang out with friends and family. It is a time of the year where you usually don't say no as much, which is a good thing. And you're usually, you know, go above and beyond to make time for those friends and family. So I think 2 a month should be more than enough for October, November, and December, if not more. So yeah, that's what we're going to do there. And then quality time with the family is kind of the same. It's more my parents. That's what I mean when I say family. I'll just put that here. They do come over my house like at least once a week. So I just kind of want to do an activity with them, maybe once a month. It's getting cold, but there's a lot of things going on now. So we should be able to do that. So that's more simple. Health and wellness. I'm going to be doing an in-depth October goal setting when it comes to health and wellness. But for the last quarter, again, these are quarters, so just ignore the annual. This is going to be for my physical wellness. I might break this up too. So this one's going to be exercise. And this is going to be nutrition. So for the remainder of the year, I really want to try hard to work out consistently. And that would be the equivalent to 3 times a week or more. I'm not going to get in depth here. That's what I'll do on my monthlies, like how I want to break that down. On my monthlies, I might actually amp that up and do 4 times a week or something like that. But as an overall goal for the quarter, I just want to leave it at 3 times a week at minimum. Trying to set it small and then hopefully I can do 4 or 5 times. But like I said, I definitely want to kind of balance out my workouts too. So I'm going to do that mostly on my monthly, but this is kind of the main thing here that I want to do. I also need to do regular stretching. I really need this done every day, but we're going to say, I'm going to say daily because it's when I need to do it. I know I'm not going to, but that's what I need to do. So we're going to keep that there. And then for nutrition, I need to balanced meals, and that'll be breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then this will be like meal plan and prep. Okay. And I do have a goal when it comes to overall like weight. I do want to, I'll put this here. I'll do that off camera. You guys don't care. But I do have a goal, like I'm at a certain weight now and I would like to stay there. If I lose, great. But if not, I just want to maintain that. See, it's very simplistic, isn't it? We've already gotten through 4 of these. I feel like I'm just kind of flying through them. I'm not really thinking too hard about them. because I find that if I think too hard about them, usually I'm picking things that I probably have no intention of completing. But if I'm just kind of going with the flow and writing the things that come to mind, it's usually things that I've already been thinking about. So therefore, I'm probably more interested in actually completing them, which means I'll be a little bit more successful. I'm going to come back to personal growth. I'm going to the easy categories first. That's also probably why it's been faster. So for financial, I'm going to be focusing mostly on budgeting for the next 3 months. Again, we're talking about 3 months, so we're not talking about annual. I'll just write here fourth quarter. So yes, I need to set a budget for holiday spending. I also need to set a budget for Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales. Yeah, I need to definitely set a budget, which means I need to pre-plan. I need to pre-plan. I usually don't have a problem pre-planning, but I need to pre-plan, and then I need to stick to the plan. That's the harder part. It's easy to pre-plan. It's harder to stick to the plan. I usually go over the sales on my channel, at least planner related sales for the small shops. So maybe as we do that this year, I'll do that, and then I'll like make my list. So that way I can hopefully like set the budget at that time. I think that's really it. I don't really think there's that much. I mean, I do want to be consistent with logging my spending. I've already started doing some like automatic deposits for savings, so I'm going to hold that as is for now. I'll reevaluate that in December for 2026. Okay, physical environment. This is all going to be home related stuff and things that I need to do for the last quarter in my home. First and foremost, this is when I do like my fall deep clean. Here we go. So for physical environment, that's going to be my home, which mostly it is, but it could also be like yard, car, whatever too. But it's going to be my home, and I need to do my fall deep clean. So I usually do fall and spring deep clean. So the difference with the fall is that is the time that I may add in like carpet cleaning. I usually don't do that during the spring, and that'll usually get done before I bring in the Christmas tree. But then there's also things like cleaning the windows, cleaning the baseboards, cleaning out the pantries, stuff like that. So it really is like one room a weekend. So it'll like literally be like dragged out for the entirety of the quarter. That's all I wrote in here. I will start in October, do a little each weekend, one room a weekend. Then it's the decluttering project, which may go into the deep cleaning because I could deep clean and declutter. I would declutter first, then deep clean. But I need to map out a plan, and that would need to happen in October or now to prep for October. And I need to like determine like the rooms and area, which is pretty much most of the rooms, but like one of my rooms where my exercise equipment is in, it's mostly like the closet is the only room I need to like declutter in there. In my bedroom, like there's only certain areas I might need to declutter. Same thing with the living room. So that's what I mean by mapping it out. And then I need to figure out what I'm looking for when I declutter. Am I looking for things that I haven't used in a year? Am I looking for things that don't work? Like, what am I looking for when it comes to decluttering? And then it's going to be like a resale pile, a giveaway pile, like Goodwill. And then, of course, things that probably need to be trashed because even the Goodwill would not take them. Then I need to do winter prep for the home, like close off the vents and things like that. I need to paint my bathroom trim and the inside of the French door, but that'll probably be done in December when I have time off. And that's it for those categories. Now we're going to move back and we're going to start with personal growth. This is where I kind of want to put my mental wellness. I feel like this is a good category for that. especially because it's right on the same page as physical wellness. But I figure personal growth does have a lot to do with mental wellness. Here, I'm not going to like include a lot of things just because I feel like for me, it just needs to stay very simple when it comes to this because I really do want to do it. And that's going to be like journaling. And I've started a new journal. It's a creative journal, so I make it really, really cute before I write in it. But when I write in it, I've just been picking an affirmation and then writing about the affirmation. And it's really been big. Let me actually, hold up. I'm looking for something. Here it is. So I did a goal journal because I was going to do everything in a bullet journal and then just became a little bit too much. But one of the things I really, really wanted to do this year is like improve self-confidence, prioritize mental balance. Like those are two big things. I'm finding that with the affirmation journal, truth be told, I've only been doing it a week, but it really is helping with like the self-confidence part of it and like just the mental clarity of it because, you know, affirmations are always like positive comments. And what I'm doing is I'm like picking a affirmation. So I'm like doing like a random, like, you know, one that generates randomly or picking a card. And that is the affirmation I'm going to write about. And then I need to write about the affirmation, either how I can describe myself using that affirmation or things of that nature. And it's really been good. It's been positive. So it's been a way to journal in a positive way instead of a negative way. So that's been really, really good. And I haven't been like, you know, it's something new. So I can't really say if I've been like consistent or not. But I'm almost thinking that might be the best route for me, because I don't do well with Dear Diary journaling. And I'm almost wondering if it's because that has a tendency to be more negative, at least for me personally. It's like when I get out my feelings or when I feel the need to get out my feelings where I force myself to do the Dear Diary journaling, it's usually a little bit more negative, which you do feel better after it's out on paper. But I just feel a little bit better, you know? So I'm wondering if I do need to keep with this like positive journaling route. So I'll put that there. And I also want to do like a digital detox. I'm pretty good about that. Like I usually like set my phone on the charger about like a couple of hours before I actually fall asleep, and I read on my Kindle. Yes, it's digital, but it's still like a digital detox of sorts because that's reading. So I'm not going to count that as like a digital item, but like that's usually what I'm doing. So I'm usually pretty good about this, but I would like to kind of focus on maybe a midday digital detox, like on the weekends when I'm just laying around. I find that I'm checking my phone like all the time. So yes, unless I'm cleaning, but I'm probably still checking my phone during that. So I definitely want to focus on the digital detox, the journaling. I think that's it. I don't think I want to do too much here. And then for personal, it's routines. That's kind of been the trend. That's what kind of started me getting back into doing goal setting back in September, was the whole routines aspect of it. So I definitely want to focus on my routines. I think more so than not, it's my morning routines and my evening. And then I'm going to put on here, do I need to create a telework midday routine? I'm putting that there because I'm actually thinking I do need to create a telework midday routine. It was something that I used to do a year or two ago, where I would just work a little bit longer, which is fine because I start working at 7:30. So it would not be a problem to work from 7:30 to 4:30 on my telework days. And then around like 11:30, 12, depending upon like meetings or anything like that, that could be my midday break and I could do like a workout or something like that just to rejuvenate. It used to work so well, and I really, really want to get back into that so I can do like workout. I don't want to just go sit on the couch and like take the break, because I don't really take a break when I do that. That's when I like check my phone or something like that. But I'm thinking like workout. So I definitely want to focus on routines. I think that's mainly the main thing I want to do, because I have enough going on here that I don't think I really want to focus on too much when it comes to the fourth quarter. So other things might get added as far as each month. There might be things each month that are not on these, like these fourth quarter goals. But I think this is kind of the gist of what I need to do. Let's pop into October, right? This is October. This is September. Yes. Okay. So now we're into October. And I am going to do like focus. Well, I don't really know. I don't really care to write a focus there. I wish I would have wrote this somewhere else now, because I like to like look at it. But I feel like now I need to flip back and forth so much. So I already kind of penciled in what I want to do for October and December. And I guess everything else would just get done in November. So I'm going to start like mapping that out here. But I already kind of verbally mapped that out. So I'm going to go ahead now and write all right, so I need to set morning, midday when I telework, and evening routines, and I need to evaluate those weekly and adjust. That's all I'm doing there, so that's just going to stay consistent. For fun and rec, we're going to break this up into two. So for trip planning, okay. So for fun and rec, we have the trip planning, which basically all I really need to do this month is decide on the location. I need to, like, I've narrowed it down. I need to decide on it. It's not as simple as that. I need to figure out whether or not some of my friends are like committed to going somewhere next year, or whether I just need to go ahead and do the solo trip next year. So that needs to be done now, so that way I can look into booking that within the next 2 months. And then social outings, I need to plan at least one outdoor activity, and I would like to do that for the month of October, just because once we start getting into November and December, the outdoors become a little less like reliable. It gets a little colder and things like that. So I definitely want to schedule at least one for October. So for work and learning, that is going to be a girl with plans. I need to my goals or my to-dos that are related to my goals for a girl with plans is to do a video filming schedule, an IG posting schedule, and start Planmas brainstorming. So family and friends. So we're going to say friends, which is the connections. We already said one a week. And then that's contact. And then 2 a month is outings. And then one of them can meet that at one, so that's fine. And then family, that's it. Health and wellness. So I want to work out 3 to 4 times a week. I'm going to get more detailed in my fitness planner. I'm not going to do that here. I said meal, prep, lunch, and dinner. I am really good about meal prep and breakfast, so I'm not going to put that here because I'm already doing it. Consistent with vitamins. I've been really good with my vitamins, y'all, because I've like chosen midday gummy vitamins instead of regular vitamins, and I will like, when I want something sweet, I can get a vitamin. So I'm good with that. And then all the other vitamins are my morning or evening vitamins that I take at bedtime. All right. So spiritual and personal growth. Which one was, oh, that was my journaling, right? All right. So I want to journal 3 to 4 hours a week. 3 to 4 times a week. For Saturdays and Sundays, I want to do a midday 2-hour phone break. But those are going to be when I'm sitting on the couch. So like, I don't want to count when I'm like cleaning and my phone isn't nearby, or when I'm filming and of course I'm not scrolling my phone. I want this to be like intentional phone breaks. So I want it to be like, maybe couch isn't right. Maybe I'll just say intentional. Okay, so financial, I definitely need to set my holiday budget. I need to do that before everything comes out, because I am one of those people that I will look at all the things and increase my budget based on all the things now I want to buy. So it's not technically budgeting. The other thing I need to do is Prime Days are like in October. There's like, I think early October. So I also need to budget for Prime Days. And then finally, I need to log my spending. Okay. And then physical environment. So I said we need to have a declutter plan. So that needs to be done now. I could probably even start decluttering, but we're not going to go there. And then I need to start with the cleaning and the kitchen and living room. So, because those are the two areas of the house that get decorated for the holidays, because my living room and my kitchen are kind of in the same area. So, yeah, those are why that needs to be done first. So I think that's it. That's it, y'all. All right, guys, there we go. So those are my monthly goals. It was really, really easy to set the monthly goals because I already set them as part of my fourth quarter goals. I basically just looked at these, figured out what I needed to do at the beginning of the fourth quarter, and then move them here. And some of them are going to be the same month to month. Probably like my personal growth will likely be very similar month to month. Even maybe my routine setting and my workouts are also going to be similar. Some of these others will change because this is like phase one of like a project that needs to continue, like the decluttering project, the fall deep clean, the trip planning and stuff like that. So it's going to progress as we go into November and then finally hopefully wrap up come December. So that's how I did my goal setting. So yeah, this was just a chatty video and you following me through my goal setting process, but I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please press that like button. And if you have yet to subscribe, I hope you would also consider subscribing to my channel. That is all I have for now. I hope you have a good rest of your day, evening, or night. Until next time, bye.